Thank God for that.
Pete.
Oh, hi.
Cup of tea.
Great.
How's it going?
Well, so far, scores old established Rose 3, brand new owner 0.
Well, you can't expect to have green fingers in the first weekend.
I managed to get red ones in the first 10 minutes.
You know something? I'm going to love living here.
I could do without being intimate neighbours of those bells.
It's funny, they weren't ringing when the agent showed us round.
You bet they weren't. He's no fool.
Never mind. Sure, it's only on Sundays.
Better be. I couldn't write a note while they're clanging that lot.
Darling, you are going to live in absolute peace and quiet and compose magnificent symphonies, no less.
It'd go down great at the recording sessions, wouldn't it? All right, boys. Finished the new arrangements, but unfortunately all your guitars are now French horns. End of career.
Well, one day.
Maybe. In the meanwhile, let's see how the pop scene fits in with the village scene.
How long will you be?
Oh, one more time and to hell with it. I'm through.
So am I. I've cleared most of the packing cases, though.
What a great little worker.
Ha, ha, ha.
Oi.
Ooh, what was that for?
For putting up with me and for finding the cottage.
You do like it?
Would I be up that ladder getting lacerated?
Hey, do you want to know something? There's a weather-beaten local making his way over here.
What about him?
I bet he's connected with those bells.
Lovely evening.
Smelly.
Lovely.
Settling in then?
Yes,
Smelly.
thanks.
You're having her off, I see.
Oh, no, just try to tie it up.
No strength in all those whippy growths.
No?
You want to cut it all back to those new shoots, starting up from the root. I'll help you. Wait a second.
The what? Oh, the clippers, over there.
We'll have it romping over that wall in no time. Comes of being ignored.
Peter?
We quite like it as it is, I'm afraid.
You do?
We're sort of doing a gentle romp.
You don't want her down?
We'd rather not.
Oh, well, suit yourself. Only she won't do anything if left to herself.
Well, think about it, Mr.
Wicklow. Dan Wicklow, but everybody calls me Salty.
Well, thanks for the advice, Salty.
Advice given's nothing. It's advice taken that counts. Good evening to you.
Don't you listen to him, Rose. I think you're fantastic. But besides, you can't live in Rose Cottage without a bloody rose.
Bells have stopped.
Good. You belong in a minute now, then.
How are you, Jay?
Nicely, thanks, Harvey.
How's Bess?
Doing fine.
In the family way, then, is she?
She is that, Reggie.
Oh, that's good. Congratulations. So you were successful, then?
Of course I was.
Never thought you would be.
No, me. Bess was very embarrassed.
Who wouldn't be? In broad daylight for all to see. Could have taken her behind the shed.
I'll tell you something. I'm going to have trouble with that cow, that's for sure. She'll knock off easy, and I know it.
Sam, hold it a second. Sam. I like that bit. Only time we ever get a tune to play.
Aye, but not now. We're talking.
We've come here for band practice, and I'm going to practice.
Evening, gentlemen. We'll take our places, gentlemen, if you please. We'll do the Elgar.
Are we going to get a story, Salty?
It is an evening in high summer here in the heart of England. On such a night as this, in just such a place, there came a stirring in the breast of Sir Edward when he was master of the King's music. A great Englishman, perhaps the greatest of them all. He bequeathed the nation many a fine and noble melody. And we will pay him tribute by playing this patriotic march, Pomp and Circumstance, #1.
Give it all you've got.
So, now we come to item 5 on the agenda, the Shillingbury Brass Band. Now, I believe that's your motion, Mr. Fennell. Perhaps you'd like to speak to it.
Yes. Well, it's not good enough.
Not good enough.
What I'm saying is, the band doesn't seem to do very well.
Do very well.
After all, can the village afford a band?
Can the village... Now, that's a positive question and deserves a positive answer. Mrs. Simpkins?
Mr. Chairman?
How much does the band cost?
I'm afraid Mr. Chairman, unexpected. I gave notice of that question.
That's not the point, if I may say so. Young Fennell's ducking the issue, shirking speaking his mind. Not good enough, he says. Not good enough for what, asked Mr. Wicklow. Not good enough for the village, say I.
Thank you, Mr. Meadows. Is that your view, Mr. Fennell?
The thing is...
Well enough to qualify for all counties championship. To even qualify, let alone win it.
Oh, well, in fairness, Mr. Chairman, the All Counties Championship usually features 16 players or more. You can hardly expect...
Well, my wife and I have always considered it to be a very good band. Then, of course, we can't hear it where we live.
I found something.
Mrs. Simpkins?
The account sheet for the Christmas Carol concert.
Ah.
Printing and posters, £23, 5 shillings and 9pence. Advertisement in the local newspaper, 15 guineas. Cost of refreshments, £18, 9 shillings. Proceeds from sale of refreshments, £24.11. That represents a bar profit of over £6.
A point of order, Mr. Chairman. Shouldn't the on-treasurer be working in decimal coinage? I mean, it's been many years.
Yes, I really do think you ought to try, Mrs. Simpkins.
I can't get along with it somehow.
What were the takings at the door?
Oh, let me see. Receipts from sale of tickets, £114.
Well, that would seem to be a handsome profit.
Well, that was from the sale of tickets, not from the people who actually turned up. There were 16 in all, and 9 of those accounted for the £6 profit at the bar.
Damn poor turnout.
Yes, but it was still a profit. I mean, after all, if there hadn't been a concert, people couldn't have bought tickets not to come.
As Mr. Meadows says, that's not the crux of it.
Then what is the crux of it, Mr. Fennell?
The lads can't play.
I didn't quite catch that.
He said the lads can't play, Mr. Wicklow.
Can't play?
Now, Salty, it's no use starting that again. The boy's right.
The records show fine work performed by Salty here. Fine work over many years.
Here.
He's a highly respected man in Shillingbury and greatly loved by members of the band.
Father Conductor.
Right, sir.
34 years.
Indeed, yes.
Formed in 1945 to commemorate the disbandment of the Shillingbury Home Guard.
Well, there you are, you see. And every time old Salty here raises his baton, there's not one man jack of them who doesn't give it his best. Every player pours his soul into his music. Every phrase is played with emotion and with dignity.
But alas, with inaccuracy.
The trouble is they give it their best one at a time instead of all together.
Oh, Jake, for instance, when he gets excited, extemporizes with twiddly bits all round the tune.
Certainly old Sam rings forth every ounce of emotion.
Yes, but not on the tuba.
I must say Harvey on the big drum is apt to cause sudden surprise.
And Reggie achieves a volume of tone on his trombone, even if he is a touch unsure of the note itself.
Oh, they do make a dreadful noise.
Worst band I ever heard.
Mrs. Cronin is their only fan, but poor dear, she's as deaf as a post.
Chairman and gentlemen of the council, I'm sorry you find no favour with my little band. We may not be the London Symphony Orchestra, but we are a group bonded together with the common love of harmony. I shall say this to you. You destroy the Shillingbury Brass Band and you destroy Shillingbury. If you do not find pleasure from our music, perhaps the fault lies at the leadership. We used to say there were no bad soldiers in the army, only bad officers. Perhaps there are no bad musicians, only bad conductors. Show me a better man and I shall step down.
Oh, no.
Steady on.
You mean you do not want me to resign?
Well, I think we do, but I think we do. But we don't want to upset you.
Then, madam and gentlemen, I tender my resignation.
Resigned?
That's what I heard.
We're not having that.
What's going to happen to all of us?
We're not having that, and that's final.
Where'd you get it from, anyway?
Meadows, the butcher. He said the council had decided on a new conductor.
Who?
I don't know. He didn't say who.
We play for Salty, we plays for nobody.
Beside which, we should have been consulted before bringing a man in from outside the ranks. Right. Inside promotion.
Ah, but not you, Reggie. You haven't got enough puff for the job.
I'll tell you something. We won't play for a new conductor.
What are we going to do, Jake?
Give me a moment to think on it.
We could easily make our feelings known.
Oh, you can say that.
Blow him a few raspberries.
No. No, we'll not do that. We've got the pride of the band to think of.
That's what I say. Just because the council have acted stupid, there's no call for us to lose our heads.
So what are we going to do, then?
I'll tell you what we do. We'll all turn up and meet the new conductor.
But you said just...
I know what I said. Now I'm going to say something different. We're all going to turn up to meet this new fella, and then we're going to play it crafty-like.
No, I'm sorry, Sal. There's no way.
Well, I think that's very selfish.
It's not the least bit selfish.
Look, all I'm saying
Sal,
is...
I don't see why I should mix my profession with your community spirit.
I'll tell you why. Because everyone should contribute their individual skill to the common good.
Oh, come on, darling. It's my job you're talking about. I'm a loot at it. You know, I write and play music in order to buy things like the Cottage.
Well, the band would have a professional conductor. Might even pay something out of the rates.
I don't believe I'm hearing this. Look, it's a dreadful little band, and I don't want any part of it.
So as I promised.
You've what?
Well, there was this woman at the coffee morning, Mrs. Meadows. Her husband's on the council.
And?
And she told me about this old conductor who's passed it or something. Said they were looking for a younger man to pull the band into shape and make a go.
And you started showing off about me, and you walked smack into the trap.
It wasn't a trap. Besides, being proud of you is not the same as showing off.
You're right, yes, but you promised on my behalf.
Sort of.
How much, sort of?
Well...
Enough to feel embarrassed if I turned it down?
Sort of.
Great.
Look, Pete, I've told you. I don't intend to become a vegetable. I'm not going to cook your meals and do housework to the exclusion of all else, you know. I need mental stimulus. Anyway, I want to become a part of this village. I think you conducting the band would be a jolly good idea. Besides, I am your wife. I do have some judgment. You know.
Well, being married to a musician doesn't give perfect pitch to somebody who's tone deaf.
That's not fair.
No. It's quite funny, though, wasn't it?
Being part of the place where you live isn't much to demand.
Demand?
Request.
But,
Request.
Sal, there's no point in arguing. I'll do it.
Oh, Pete.
But let's keep it well away from the New Musical Express, right?
Fill 'em up, maestro.
Bells are stopped.
Good. You'll be long in a minute, then.
Then we'll see the size of it.
Right, listen just a minute, fellas. No, listen, for heaven's sake.
Sam! Sam, just a sec.
Give us your attention over here. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll give him March of the Toreadors and go all out to impress. And afterwards, when he's congratulating us, I shall stand up on my feet and tell him, politely but firmly, that Shillingbury has heard the last of our music until Salty's back in office. And then we'll pack up our instruments and go out that door, slowly and dignified. Got it? That's clear, Jake.
Will we get a story first?
There'll be no story tonight, Sam.
Salty always told us a story to get us in the mood.
You'll just have to work yourself up on your own.
Let's have a tune-up till he gets here.
Gentlemen, I I introduce to you Mr. Peter Higgins. Some of you may have already made his acquaintance, seeing he recently moved into the village from London. He has done his time at the Guildhall School of Music and has letters after his name pertaining to a musical education, which has culminated in him writing for a pop group, the Close Encounters.
I've heard them.
Mr. Higgins has agreed to take over the Shillingbury Brass Band, and I know you will do your best for him as you've always done for me. Naturally, I am sad to hand over a baton I have cherished for many happy years. But if it will help in harvesting the fruits of artistic endeavor, then my gesture will not have been in vain. Thank you.
Got a story after all.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. I'd like to introduce you to my wife, Sally.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Sally plays several musical instruments, too. Namely the stereo, the radio, and the vacuum cleaner tuned to B flat. Okay. Well, what should we play first in order to get to know each other?
The March of the Toreadors.
Okay. March of the Toreadors it shall be. Now, I'll give you 4 in. Nice, brisk tempo. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, please. Shut up!
Is he pleased?
No, I don't think he is.
Gentlemen, I don't know how to say this. That was quite the most horrendous sound I've ever heard. I would have thought on the occasion of our first meeting you would have played your best.
That was our best.
But it was out of time and unison. I think if we're going to get anywhere together, we'd better return to the basic principles. Now, just give me the very first chord, right? Just the very first chord.
Excuse me. Are you trying to tell us that we can't play?
I'm telling you that out of the shambles I just heard, I could not detect one meaningful note of music.
We can't play March of the Toreadors.
If you hadn't told me the title, I'd never have
We've been
guessed.
playing that piece for 15 years.
Now, look, we've got a long haul ahead of us, but we'll make it. Together we'll get better.
Get better? That was it.
You'd just like to take a
You're
seat,
not
please.
talking to your Guildhall students now, you know.
I'm asking you to sit
March
down.
of the Toreadors has been the pride of our repertoire since you was in short trousers.
Would you just sit down,
Mr.
please?
Whitlow has never talked to us like that. Never once in all the years that we played together.
I'm asking you to sit down.
And you are a young upstart.
Gentlemen, fellas, we seem to have got off on the wrong foot.
Right. Everybody out.
Just give me the chords, and we can at least start by getting the notes right.
Somehow, I don't think they love you as much as they did old Salty.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you intended it, Jay?
Oh, it was now I intended it. He bested us.
He didn't enjoy it.
He's a young upstart.
What are we going to do then, Jake?
I don't know for the moment.
We was quite dignified the way we left.
Ah,
Why? Because he drew our fire, didn't he? And by him saying we couldn't play, he's put us all in the wrong.
We could say he didn't conduct us proper.
Didn't he conduct us proper?
I don't know. I wasn't looking at him.
He's bested us. He's taken away the only means of getting Salty back.
What are we going to do then, Jake?
I'll just have a think for a minute. We'll have to make some plans. 10 of the usual, Doris.
Poor Pete. You were right, I was wrong. Still, at least you had a go. From now on, we'll forget them.
No way. Not going to be beaten that easily.
You can't go through that again.
I am going to get music out of that stubborn bunch of geriatrics if it's the last thing I do.
Is it worth it?
Well, the funny thing is, I think individually some of them might not play too badly.
What if the council withdraw the invitation?
After what I've just been through, let them try.
Come in. Oh, Salty and Jake are outside. Shall I wheel them in?
No.
What's up?
Well, Salty won't come in without Jake.
Well, what's wrong with that?
In the first place, it's not correct procedure.
Oh, damn the procedure. Let's get this stupid affair sorted out.
I don't know what we're going to say to them.
Reinstate Salty, no argument. We had a band that couldn't play, now we've got a band that won't play.
Well, Higgins was a great disappointment.
Complete mess. Absolute flop.
I wish Fennell had never raised the matter. The band's never been in trouble before.
Except when they play, of course.
Well, the point of the issue is, does Shillingbury need a band?
Well, of course it does. Had a band since the war. Highly prestigious.
Yes, well, there's something else, too.
What?
Well, Mrs. Simpkins produced a most revealing set of figures. Her argument was that the ratepayers have indirectly invested in the band for a number of years, and they are indeed paid up in advance. So we couldn't face a rebate demand.
A lot of nonsense.
Now, she had something else as well. It seems that there's an agreement between certain sponsors of important functions that they make a donation to funds in return for a guarantee that the band will not appear.
You mean it's the money we can't afford to lose?
They've always been perfectly harmless old men.
I'll have to talk to Salty.
My thoughts exactly.
Apologise, of course.
Yes, all right. Well, I'll put together a few suitable words.
Right. Let's have them in.
Right.
Come in, won't you?
Ah, Salty, it's nice to see you. Afternoon, Jake. Afternoon. Well, sit down. Now then, I'm led to believe that a difference of opinion arose at band rehearsal yesterday between the members of the band and the new conductor appointed by council. And the lead cornet player, that's you, Jake, decided to terminate the rehearsal by marching your colleagues out. Now, is that correct?
I'm not prepared to comment on what I did, nor apologise for it neither.
I see.
What we'd like to discuss is how it came about that the council appointed a new conductor without first consulting my members.
But we did. Mr. Wicklow was present at the meeting.
Salty had resigned from the job and left.
But there was a full and frank discussion, I assure you.
Is that so?
There was no mention of a new man before I upped and left.
Ah.
It is our information that Mrs. Meadows talked to the young upstart's wife at a coffee morning.
Young,
He means Higgins.
Huh?
And that they fixed it up between them.
Hardly likely, do you think?
Well, that's what we were told.
Well, in any event, I suggest it's water under the bridge. Anyway, Mr. Meadows and I have a proposal to put to you.
Proposal? What sort of proposal?
Well, the council withdraw certain unfortunate remarks made at a recent meeting and invite Salty here to return to his position as conductor of the Shillingbury Brass Band.
Ah.
No.
Huh?
Salty?
No.
For heaven's sake.
You said we couldn't play.
But I've explained that we wish to withdraw.
You laughed. You can't withdraw that laugh.
Well, surely an apology.
You all laughed. I told you that to destroy the band was to destroy Shillingbury. Now that you've found it out for yourself, you want things back as they were. Nice and simple, neat and tidy. Well, I'm not accepting.
Oh, dear.
Well, what's the position?
The position would appear to be that as we sit here this afternoon, Shillingbury does not have a band.
But we must have a band.
Then you have a problem. Salty won't conduct us and we won't play without him.
But is there no form of compromise we could consider?
Maybe. Well, it's in both our interests that Salty is given more time to consider his position. Then there could be, as it were, an interim measure.
Well, what's that, Jake?
A process of non-cooperation.
What the devil's a process?
A work to rule. A go slow.
Do you mean they'd play the tune more slowly?
If you play Abide With Me any slower, you'll never finish.
That's not what I mean at all. We'll work by the book, no more and no less.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I don't understand.
We'll play the music, but we won't interpret it. See what I mean? Look, every piece of music has certain notes on it. Notes of a certain nature. Like you hold them for 1 beat or 2 or 3, according to what's written down. And there's other signs for loud, soft, faster and slower. Well, we'll play them exactly as they're written, but we'll not help them on their way. You'll get the tune straight, without any feeling to it.
Ah,
that sounds an excellent arrangement to me. What do you think, Mr. Meadows?
Well, I suppose so. How long's this musical Go Slow gonna last?
As long as it's necessary.
With no exceptions? I was thinking of the carol concert and the pensioners' Christmas party.
Just 2 exceptions? Sort of slow, slow, quick, quick, slow?
No exceptions.
All right, we'll adopt your suggestion, Jake. And if Salty here feels things differently, perhaps he'll let us know.
Never. It's going to be a long, hard winter.
Now, you'll get this quite clear. Until our dispute with the council has reached an acceptable conclusion, we have embarked on a period of non-cooperation, which means there'll be no stories, no extras, no emotions, and no feelings. Now, I know this is going to be hard for us, but we mustn't weaken. Just play the notes straight. Don't help him in any way. Take your time from the young upstart and play the notes exactly as they're written. Understand?
Look out.
Stone me. We've got an audience.
Now, I know you're not expecting to make or receive any apologies, so I think you'll agree that the best thing is to let bygones be bygones. Okay, now please take out your parts for the village trot. Please follow the music carefully, play each note truly and to its full value. And please, no embellishments. Just play what's written and watch me for the beat.
Is he on the work to rule as well? No, he's not.
I'll give you 3 for nothing, and 1, 2, 3, and...
We're being clapped. You've been clapped before.
No. Thank you. It's very much better.
There's something funny going on here.
We did exactly what you said, Jake.
I know.
It sounded nothing at all.
Yet, young upstarts seem to like it. They all seem to like it.
We didn't give it anything. No interpretation, nothing.
Perhaps they were putting it on.
Do you reckon?
No, I don't.
I like being clapped, Jake.
Hey, we'll have no more of that talk. That's blacklegging.
I only said I like being clapped.
I know, I heard you. But we mustn't weaken, brother. That's the thin end of the wedge. If they think a quick round of applause is going to end our solidarity, they've got another thing coming. Hey, that's it. We must increase the pressure, harden the line.
How can we do that, Jake?
I'll tell you exactly how we can do that. Next time, we'll give it even less. We'll just tip them. We'll not play the notes. We'll just tip them.
Staccato.
Pardon?
That's the name, staccato. We plays each note short and snappy.
That's what I just said. Tip them.
We can't give them anything by playing staccato, that's for sure.
I'll tell you something, Reggie. We're never going to give them anything. Not as long as young upstart's there. Not as long as I've got a breath in my body.
Morning, Mr. Wicklow.
Good morning.
Did you want something?
Is your husband at home?
No, he's not at the moment.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll be on my way.
Is there anything that I can do?
No, it's all right. Thank you.
Mr. Wicklow, I wonder, while you're here, would you mind telling me the name of those spiky plants?
Oh, it's a shrub, really speaking. Berberis.
Oh, I don't know the names of anything.
Comes out in the spring.
And what are those over there by the wall?
Winter jasmine. Gives you a show of yellow at Christmas, if you're lucky.
Seem to have a mass of those grey things over there, too.
Oh, that's always the way. They're weeds.
Pete's been so busy lately, we just haven't had time to tackle the garden.
Good tip for the first year, to leave things be. You never know what's hidden under there waiting to come up and delight you.
Yes, of course. Makes good sense.
Just leave things tidy, you know. This garden's an absolute joy in March. There's crocus, hundreds of them all around here.
I was wondering,
Aye.
I don't suppose you'd be prepared to help us out a bit, you know, like with advice or maybe a couple of mornings a week?
You don't want me here.
We'd be very grateful.
It would be embarrassing for your husband. What with the band and all that.
Nonsense. Peter's not like that.
Besides, I'm not a good enough gardener. Not a good enough anything. Know a bit about a lot and a lot about nothing.
I don't believe it.
Jack of all trades, master of none. That's why I never got anywhere in my life.
You're disappointed about the band, I know.
Aye, but it's not just the conducting. It's everything that went along with it. There was a friendship, you see. Now, even when Jake and all the others are trying to get me back, there's an awkwardness. It was always easy before.
Yes, I understand that. But I'm sure it'll all settle down.
Do hope so.
You consider the gardening, though?
I'll think about that and let you know.
Thank you, Salty.
Goodbye now.
Hey! Don't forget this.
Oh, yes, that.
What is it?
Open it. Go on, have a look. Presented to me when I left the works.
Can you play?
I can play it.
That's why you came.
Aye.
You want to play to Peter?
I thought it might be some sort of solution, but now I don't know.
Of course you must. I'll tell him as soon as he comes
No,
home.
please, don't say anything.
I know he'll want to hear you play.
You don't understand. I've been walking up and down all morning worrying on it. I want to play to him, but he's an honest man, your husband, and he'll tell me straight.
Yes, he will.
Aye. Well, I wouldn't like to know that this is something else than second best stuff.
All right. Well, just let me know if there's anything I can do.
Goodbye just now.
Bye.
Leave it be, Mr. Chairman. That's my suggestion.
Well, we can't carry on like this.
Why not?
What?
Well, best thing if you ask me. The band are pursuing their policy of non-cooperation, so they're happy. The conductor chap is making them sound a whole lot better, so he's happy. And the council are taking more money and more engagements than ever before, so we're happy. Now, what's the sense in changing things?
Mr. Chairman,
Mrs. Simpkinson?
it's not true that everybody's happy. It's not true at all. In all the years I've lived in Shillingbury, I've never known such hostility and suspicion.
In every strike action, somebody gets hurt.
I quite agree, but Mrs. Simpkins is right. As a matter of some priority, we must find a means of ending this work to rule. Salty, I'm turning to you. Have you considered returning to the band and taking up your rightful position?
Ah, but he can't, you see.
What?
Band sounds better without him. Sorry, Salty, but it's as plain as a pikestaff.
Mr. Meadows, there is no need.
Needed to be said.
It depends what the band is for.
But what's that remark supposed to mean?
It means that if you want a village band to go around winning festivals, that's one thing. But if you want something that unites and brings together the people of Shillingbury, then that's something else.
Well, as I can see, we can't ask him to stand down now.
Who?
Young, what's his name?
Young upstart.
That's right. Damn it, he's doing such a good job. I mean, the band are such obstinate old fools, they can't see it.
They feel that to end the work to rule would be a loss of face. Yes, Mr. Fennell? Chairman, I feel responsible. It was I who raised the matter in the first place. But it does seem to me that quite inadvertently the band has stumbled across a unique way of playing. Listen to them. I feel it's something that could quite easily catch on.
I must say they do sound rather unusual.
I think we should capitalise on it.
Become the only band in the country to have an individual style.
Exactly.
Not a bad idea, Mr. Chairman. Very trendy.
Sufficient to qualify for the county championships? Oh, yes, in my opinion. Definitely.
Oh, I doubt it. You never qualified for anything yet. And you know, there's something missing. I'm no musician, but there's an ingredient missing.
Oh, I agree, it needs something, but...
I'll tell you the ingredients that's missing. Understanding. While you're fussing over wrong notes and trendy gimmicks and money in the bank, you're forgetting all about people.
Where do they go to after rehearsal?
The Odd Fellow's Arms, to hatch up next week's little plot.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Shakespeare obviously didn't know about Shillingbury. It's amazing the way the goodwill's blown away as their talents have developed.
It's Jake.
Jake? He's turned from an easygoing farmer into a full-blown militant troublemaker.
Did you ever see Salty?
Nope. Why? Is he behind it all?
No, he's as unhappy as we are. Came to see you a couple of months ago, one day when you were up in London.
What did he want?
Do you know he played the trumpet?
Oh, my God.
He's hoping to play for you.
Why didn't he?
Lost his nerve. He's a nice old boy with a badly dented pride.
Do you reckon he can play?
I've no idea. He was carrying his trumpet in a brown paper bag.
You ever heard that story about the two trumpet players auditioning for a vacancy at the London Symphony Orchestra? First one came in, immaculately dressed, dove grey suit, gold tie-pin. Took a brand new golden trumpet out of a velvet-lined case, shut his cuffs, raised the instruments to his lips, and he started to play. And it was the most horrible sound you've ever heard. The second one came in, shabby, down at the heels, tatty old raincoat on. Out of a brown paper bag, produced this battered old brass cornet. And he shot his tattered cuffs, and he placed the instrument to his lips, and he started to play. And he was worse.
Don't send up everything, Peter.
I'm not sending up everything.
Old Salty simply thought it was a way of helping.
Look, shall I tell you something? I'm fed up with people trying to help.
Does that include me?
Well, you were the country bumpkin, remember? I didn't think we'd fit into village life in the first place.
Come on, Pete, let's not quarrel. Everyone around here seems to be perpetually arguing.
No, I don't argue about that.
Mr. Wicklow? Come on, Salty.
Not now. I've thought about it. Another time.
Well, there won't be another time.
Too scared.
You never called about the garden.
Oh, I'm sorry. No offense.
Still, I was disappointed. That day you shared a confidence. I felt privileged.
You didn't say anything.
Oh, Peter, no, not a word.
Another time, maybe.
We're leaving the garden, like you said, you know, wait and see what comes up.
I'm glad.
Salty, come on.
Frightened of failing.
You're failing now by creeping away. If it's any help, I believe in you.
All right. I'll play it for you.
But we can't. Not without rehearsal.
It's all right. The lads all know it.
Yeah, but I don't. No, it's okay. Oh, peaceful England, gentlemen. I'll just get my coffee.
What do we do, Jake? Do you want us to help old Spunky along? We can't let him down.
I've got to play proper. Work till it was over.
No, it's a trick. Young upstart's still here, isn't he? No loss of faith. Don't anybody give it nothing. Are you sure, Jake? Nothing, do you understand? Nothing.
You know, slowly I'm beginning to realise this just isn't my cup of tea.
What isn't?
The band, the village, the lot.
What's brought this on?
Everything.
I thought you'd be feeling chuffed. You've just eased Salty back into the band. He's good.
The wear and tear on the nerves just isn't worth it.
Don't weaken.
And you've changed too.
Me? How?
Dunno. Well, for one thing, you fit in better than I do. I feel left out.
Left out? Who started all this?
Oh, don't think I'm not sorry. Darling, give it up.
But the adjudication's coming up, yeah, I
Can't
mind.
take any more.
Sal.
You stand up there in front of them and they just ignore you.
They don't.
Feel embarrassed for you.
Question. What did the band sound like before I took over?
I know
Question.
all
What do they
that.
sound like now?
I know.
Well, then. Look, I shall stand up in front of that stubborn bunch of old fools for as long as it takes.
To do what?
For them to accept me.
Is it worth it?
Oh, yes. It's worth it, all right.
Why?
Because they're fighting for something that means a great deal to them. Wish I knew what it was. But let's imagine it's not impossible that they are right and we are wrong.
So persuade Salty back to conducting and let them get on with it.
No, because if they're right, then I want to be a part of it.
I'm going to sleep.
You see, that awful noise we heard the first time, suppose it wasn't an awful noise.
Oh, it was.
No, suppose it was emotion expressed in musical terms like jazz or native Zulu music, which seems pretty way out to us. But it means something if you understand it.
You mean they're more advanced than we are?
Well, different anyway.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, like the lady in the pub said, it's only once a week.
Peter Higgins, the well-known once-a-week man.
Yes. Well, there are all kinds of ways to express yourself.
Why are you so bloody stubborn?
We've qualified. Qualified.
You mean he's qualified?
Yeah, I think that's everyone. It's Harvey, Reggie, Basil. Oh, cheer up, lads. Tomorrow's the big day. Here's to us, and tomorrow, eh?
To us.
Tomorrow.
Cheers.
What's up with you all? I decided to cancel the rehearsal tonight because, well, quite frankly, there's no point.
Huh?
So we all meet tomorrow morning on the green, 9:30, and the coach will take us to the county hall.
What's the point, Mr. Higgins?
What's the point of what, Sam?
Going to county hall, to the championships. We're only going to make fools of ourselves.
We are going to win, Sam.
We've always wanted to play in the county championships, but not like this.
I wish I could make you understand. The band sounds great. Really great.
It's you that doesn't understand, Mr. Higgins.
If band sounds great, as you say it does, why is everybody so down in the mouth? There's been nothing but trouble since we started sounding great, as you say we do.
We're better off if we played bad.
Bad, according to him.
Certainly happier.
Where's Jake?
Not here.
Well, he's never missed rehearsal before. Is he all right?
Ah, he's all right.
He's not planning to let us down tomorrow. He wouldn't do that. We can't win without him.
We can't win anyway.
There are some of us who've had our differences with Jake. Some of us would like to end the work to rule. But Jake says that negotiations are a complete deadlock.
Well, Jake talks too much.
But we reckon it's become a feud between you and him.
But why, for heaven's sake?
To get Salty back.
But Salty is back.
Not as conductor.
Jake reckons that making Salty play trumpet is nothing more than a plot to cloud the issue.
Well, Jake would rather be wrong than stop talking.
Jake would rather be left alone, along with the rest of us, like we've been for 30 years.
Oh. Couldn't be said much clearer, could it?
Mr. Higgins. Jake's okay. He's over in his cow shed with Bess. She's got a calf tonight and is expecting trouble.
So, shung up start come to see me.
Oh, there you are.
Missed rehearsal, did I?
I was wondering...
Wondering about tomorrow, were you?
They told me about the cow. I came to see if I could help.
You? Help me?
She seems pretty quiet at the moment.
Aye. She had a turn just a moment since. But she's resting now.
What's wrong with her exactly?
Exactly. You want to know exactly? Well, her water's broken. She's moaning and sweating, won't lie down. My guess is that calf is wrong way around for presentation.
Oh. I don't know much about cows, I'm afraid.
You don't know much about anything. Farmers, village life, nothing.
Well, I know about music.
Not our kind. Know why we play it.
I realise the band used to treat rehearsals as some sort of social gathering.
You realise nothing. There's some music that's to be listened to and other music that's to be played.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. You take your pop music, a lot of lads making a nasty noise, but it's satisfying to them that plays it.
No, I can't agree with him.
Why do they call it pop music? So the lads can get together and thump away to their heart's content.
Is that what you do?
That's exactly what we do. Well, did, before you came along. But we got pleasure out of it. A feeling. We'd think about England, our little village. Our sons, daughters, loved ones. And then Salty would tell us a story and we'd get all choked up. And then we'd play. I can hear it now.
So can I.
You're not rile me, young upstart. There's nothing you can say will do that.
I didn't come here to rile you, Jake. I came to try and understand, I suppose.
You said you came here to help me with Bess.
Well, that too.
Aye, well, you can lend a hand. I think she's starting again.
Hello there, my little beauty. Right, now come over here and get hold of her head. Hang on to her hard, and if she struggles, you brace yourself on that rail.
What you going to do, Jake?
I'm going to have a feel around to see what's going on in there.
Well, what do you mean?
Eat that calf the wrong way around. We've got to turn it, haven't we?
Makes you feel a bit green, does it?
Yeah, a bit.
Takes a bit of getting used to.
You're so rough with her.
I'm not rough. I'm firm. Steady, girl. That way she knows that I know what I'm doing. As I thought, its legs is tucked under its chest.
I suppose you can't allow sentiment when it's your livelihood.
You reckon?
Am I right?
You're saying it. My feelings are my own.
Perhaps that's why you find a release from playing in the band.
Know all the answers, do you?
Look, I was asking. I was just interested, so I was asking.
People don't ask enough. That's the trouble with this country. 2 world wars has cut down all the tall poppies. In any field, you'll find some plants standing head and shoulders above the others. When you've had them, you're left with the run of the mill. We lost the best of our last by 1945. And since then, I don't know, we just don't seem to breed them anymore. And if we do, we hold them back until they're forced to leave the country if they're to grow. Salty. There's a giant amongst men. Salt of the earth. That's how he got his nickname. He's our last hope to keep alive some of the traditions that gave England a style of living not seen anywhere else in the world. We've cut down all the tall poppies. Them that's left are better ploughed under.
I've tried, Jake. With the band. I really have.
But there's no point in playing music if you're that regimented. You can't enjoy it. You and Salty, you're as different as chalk and cheese.
seen anything like it.
Well, I thought we were going to lose them both at one time. That youngun's ribs were so squashed it could hardly breathe.
Oh. Now, I feel we've done something really worthwhile.
We have, young upstart. We have.
Jake.
Aye?
You will come. You will turn up. Tomorrow, I mean.
It's today, son. Your precious band festival is today.
Yeah, it is today. Coach leaves at 9:30, Jake.
Well, you've time for a couple of hours kip, then.
Come along, man. Hurry. It's time we weren't here.
He's had a bit of a scramble. He's been up all night.
Well, if we leave now, we'll just be on time.
Where's Jake?
We told you he'd not come.
Well, he's bound to come.
No, he won't. It's his way.
Look, we really must go.
I'm not leaving without Jake.
Peter, they're right.
Look, Sal, I was with him last night. I got through. I know I did.
Please, Pete. Look, face up to it. He's been against you all along.
Look, come along. Are we going to this contest or aren't
Sal,
we?
you don't understand. It's not the festival. Not anymore. It's us. He wanted to be a part of the village. Accepted here. Well, me too. And after last night with Jake, we'd made it. The feud was over.
The more fool you. Nevertheless, we must show the flag.
Brass band without a lead cornet.
Makes no difference. Hopeless anyway, always was.
With or without Jake?
Yeah, let's drive past his place and pick him up.
Can I won't.
What? Oh, please, Sal. Don't you give me any trouble.
Why chase after him? Make a stand, for heaven's sake. You'll have to one day.
Okay, let's go.
To Jake's?
No, County Hall.
Couldn't you play another piece?
No parts. Salty?
Aye.
You could take over lead cornet.
Do what?
Take over Jake's part.
I can't play cornet.
You could take it on the trumpet.
I'm already playing trumpet.
Sure, look, it doesn't need to change that. Look here, like C27, right? You're out on bar 5. Double E flat bass takes the next 4, and you can pick up the cornet here.
It won't work.
Well, it could work, Salty, and you're a good enough musician to make it.
If you ask me, you're hell-bent on artistic suicide.
Mr. Meadows, do you believe in prayer?
Prayer? Yes, of course I do.
Well, then belt up and say one. There's a good chap.
You're on next when this lot are finished.
Where's Salty, for God's sake, Sal? Go and get him quick.
You're on.
I can't do it.
Of course you can. Pete doesn't expect miracles.
Not the music.
What then?
Everything. The band, Jake, everything. We've all grown apart. The whole purpose of band was to keep us together. And I've been at fault since the off.
Look, if it's anyone's fault, it's mine and Pete's.
Firstly, I didn't conduct them good enough. I behaved like a spoilt brat when they sacked me. And sulked when they offered job back. I've let them all down.
What do you think you're doing now? Sitting out here when they're waiting to go on?
The way I feel now, I'd only let them down worse. Even in trumpet pits.
Well, I'm glad you told me, Mr. Wicklow. Because from anyone else, I wouldn't have believed it. You know, I try very hard to see the man who commanded the Home Guard, started the band, became a leading figure for 35 years. All I can see, Mr. Wicklow, is a pig-headed old man full of maudlin self-pity.
Come on, Peter, you're supposed to be on the other side. Good God, I knew you'd make it.
Of course I made it. I overslept. Hey, the boys and me won't let you down.
We seem to have lost Salty.
Oh, no, you haven't. We're all here.
Fellas, what? We've been wrong. We've been wrong all the time. About him, I mean.
Why?
He's all right, that lad, I'm telling you. He's all right.
Well, what's happened?
Didn't he sit up all night helping me with my best?
No.
Look, we've got a lot of things to put right, and we better start now. The work to rule's over. Let's help the lad on his way.
Right.
Come on,
Right.
Come on, lad.